don't have enough time to do what I want, which is a full documentation of all this. So quick walkthrough of T-strings and T-DOM and how it could all work for Sphinx and themes and components which can run everywhere. I'll be talking about PEP 750 template strings and an HTML library created for it by Andrea called T-DOM, which gives kind of a component-driven development experience for Python code. In this, I have a theme called Goku. It's based on Bulma. And this is the Sphinx docs for it, the index.md. And it's got a comp file that looks nothing like what you would expect from Sphinx. It has an extension called Goku and a theme called Goku. We'll look at the Sphinx integration in a second, but I can run the Sphinx docs. It generates. I can go to the built file, open it in my browser, and then when you see I expand, it gives kind of a Bulma type layout. How does this all work? I'll do the Sphinx integration in a second, but I want to talk about the new style of HTML theme development that I'm trying to propose, component-driven development. In this, I have a theme called Goku. It is made up of layouts and components, components with subcomponents that have subcomponents. Very fine-grained components that can be easily replaceable. And then views which moderate the outside world, like in this case Sphinx, and gather up some information. This is all going to be refactored, and then goes and calls a layout and passes the outside world into the portable independent theme layer and stuff like that. With that, I can go and write tests to develop all of my theming without ever running Sphinx and without even running a browser. So for example, I could go up to I'll walk up to the body where we assemble a string and test it by calling a T-DOM component and passing in the universe, and then that component, body, brings in some components, which brings in some components, etc., all the way down. And when I run this test, I get to see that it all works. And in fact, I could go back to where I was all the way down here, and I could run that test under the debugger and stop at that point and look around. Or I could run just the test for this part, nav bar start, walk up to just it in all its variations based on the information that's passed into it, and just make component after component after component. And because I've got good tooling support, PyCharm gives me T-string support, Kudai has given me T-DOM component support, I get little squiggles and things when I leave something out. And it says I was supposed to pass a class to this, just like you would expect from JSX and TSX. That's all pretty good and cool. Pretty happy with that. And it lets me, you notice I never imported Sphinx. I'm making a theme. My entire development is independent of Sphinx. This theme could run in Django. This theme could run in Pelican, whatever. Now, how does it get into Sphinx? Let's take a look at this. Oh my God, I have written this crap 10 times since 2018. And I cargo culted the good version of it into here. There's a better version of this in another place. But the idea is this is a Sphinx extension. And the Sphinx extension fires up here and adds a template bridge to intercept Jinja 2, and then some Sphinx build events. This is the pretty important part. Let's go to it. We're replacing the Jinja render with something that doesn't use Jinja at all. It grabs a view and renders it, or does this other thing if it's not really a markdown page. And then that view goes and does its thing. In the real version I have of this, there are pluggable views. Then in these various parts of the life cycle. For example, here we have an event that runs, and I'm plugging in Linux services, SVCS, as a container environment in Sphinx. And I'm going to make a services registry, register it in Sphinx. And this lets me avoid prop drilling. If I've got a sub component, I don't want to pass the Sphinx config all the way down. Instead, a component function can just ask for the Sphinx configuration and the caller will provide it. The system will provide it. The thing calling it didn't have to pass it as a prop. We're going to put all the important data from Sphinx in there as these kind of neutral classes. Says Sphinx config, but really it would be a theme config, something that is connected to Goku as a theme. And this is kind of like an adapter between Sphinx and the thing. And then all these things happen. And then I'm also using Venusian, which is a old pyramid package for decorators. And I'm putting it in because I've got this magic thing called injectable, which is a decorator you can put on it that does that thing. If a component asks for a container, let's go to the environment in Sphinx and get the services container that was configured in Sphinx, SVCS container. And this is a little bit like dependency injection. If you want the container, ask for it, it will hand it to you. And with that in mind, we've got a system that lets us do several things towards the direction of portable themes. This is a theme written in TDOM. It's not written in Jinja, but because of Sphinx support and this template bridge, I'm intercepting renders to introduce a view layer and views that have nothing to do with Sphinx, have nothing to do with Jinja 2, but there is this layer that mediates between the Sphinx or Pyramid or Django or whatever, and this new world of portable themes.